Hello everyone, my name is Mark. Welcome to our Module 4, My Carbon Footprint. Within the 5 lessons of this module, you will learn how to calculate your own carbon footprint and learn the simple changes you can make to reduce your impact on our Earth. I myself have managed to reduce my footprint within 1 year by over 70%. Once I knew what changes to make. In doing so, I also saved a lot of money and now live a more sustainable and greener lifestyle. At the end of this module, you will know how to calculate your own carbon footprint for the years to come, as well as being able to help others to calculate their footprint. Let me start by letting you in on a little secret. It's very easy once you know how. It was Sir George Porter that once said, if sunbeams were weapons of war, we would have had solar energy long ago. A carbon footprint measures the total greenhouse gas emissions caused directly or indirectly by a person, or an event such as the FIFA World Cup Soccer, an organization like ourselves, or even a product like a packet of peanuts. Results are best measured in tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. A carbon footprint is almost always calculated for a period of 1 year. It need not be a calendar year. It could, for instance, be from the 1st of July until the 30th of June the next year. You can work out the footprint for an individual, a household, a company, a product, an event, or even a city like Cape Town or Amsterdam. The final result that is calculated during this exercise is the total amount of greenhouse gases emitted by all activities in what you are measuring. In this module, we will calculate your and my individual carbon footprints over a period of 1 year. These amounts are then converted into carbon dioxide equivalents. So as an example, my carbon footprint for the year 2008 could be 40 tons of carbon dioxide. At the end of Lesson 5, we will let you download from our website your own certificate that I will help you fill in. This certificate will have your name, a photo, your address, the start and end dates of your carbon footprint calculation, as well as the total amount of CO2 equivalent greenhouse gases you emitted. Imagine your family and friends' surprise when you present them with your own carbon footprint certificate, showing that you care about your planet and that you are making a difference. The whole idea behind this exercise is to measure, then to implement methods to reduce, and then to remeasure to calculate the amount by which you have managed to reduce, thereby collectively helping us to bring the parts per million of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere back to the ideal of 350. I would like to share with you a very important news item that shows South Africa's commitment to climate change and making the necessary changes to reduce our emissions as a country. South Africa's Water and Environmental Affairs Minister, Vuyelwa Sonjika, announced on Thursday, the 21st of October 2010, South Africa plans to address the impact of climate change by reducing carbon emissions by at least 43% in the next decade, while a series of strict measures will also be put in place to avert pollution by the country's mines. As part of the agreement, Sonjika, together with provincial MECs responsible for the environment, as well as other stakeholders in the delivery chain of government, undertook to prepare strategies to help South Africa cope with the imminent climate change impacts and reverse the rising trends related to pollution and ensure proper and better management of the environment. South Africa is ranked amongst the top 20 greenhouse gas emitters, and it is the highest emitter within Africa. I would like to start by explaining some of the fundamentals to you so that you can fully understand how carbon footprinting works. For those of you who are knowledgeable on the subject of carbon and footprinting, I ask you to please be patient while I explain the basics to those who are watching and are quite new to this. You can see this as a quick refresher, and who knows, you might even learn one or two things you did not know before. What is this carbon that everyone is talking about? Well, carbon is the chemical basis of all known life. It is the fourth most abundant chemical element in the universe by mass, after hydrogen, helium, and oxygen. Carbon is abundant in the sun, stars, comets, and in the atmosphere of most planets. Now, in terms of carbon footprints, the carbon that is mentioned is actually carbon dioxide, which has the chemical formula CO2. It is a chemical compound composed of two oxygen atoms bounded by a single carbon atom. In combination with oxygen in carbon dioxide, carbon is found in the Earth's atmosphere and dissolved in all water bodies. Hydrocarbons, such as coal, petroleum, natural gas, also contain carbon. The amount of carbon on Earth is effectively constant. Thus, processes that use carbon must obtain it somewhere and dispose of it somewhere else. The paths that carbon follows in the environment make up the carbon cycle. For example, plants draw carbon dioxide out of their environment and use it to build biomass. Some of this biomass is eaten by animals, whereas some carbon is exhaled by animals as carbon dioxide. The carbon cycle is considerably more complicated than this short loop. For example, some carbon dioxide is dissolved in the oceans. Dead plant or animal matter may become petroleum or coal, which can burn with the release of carbon, should bacteria not consume it. Around our planet, there is a layer of gases called the atmosphere. When the rays of the sun come through the atmosphere and strike the surface of the Earth, some of these rays reflect back. A few of these gases, collectively known as greenhouse gases, prevent these rays from leaving the atmosphere. This is known as the albedo effect, and this creates a warming effect on Earth, known as global warming. There are a few of these greenhouse gases, but the most common ones, in order of abundance, are water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, ozone, and CFCs. Some of these gases can stay in our atmosphere for up to 100 years. It is important to know that these greenhouse gases are necessary to keep our planet at comfortable temperatures for humans, plants, and animals to survive. If it gets too hot or too cold, the Earth can become uninhabitable for most species. Our atmosphere contains roughly 78.09% nitrogen, 20.95% oxygen, around 0.247% water vapor, 0.038% carbon dioxide, and traces of hydrogen, helium, and other gases. Water vapor accounts for the largest percentage of the greenhouse effect, between 36 and 66% for clear sky conditions, and between 66 and 85% when including clouds. Water vapor concentrations fluctuate regionally, but human activities do not significantly affect water vapor concentrations, except at local scales, such as near irrigation fields. As you can see, the gases that contribute to global warming, excluding water vapor, due to the fact that we as humans have no control over this, only makes up less than 0.04% of all the gases in the atmosphere. This tells us that there is a very delicate balance, and our continuous burning of fossil fuels like coal for electricity and converting oil to petrol and diesel for our engines can quickly lead to an excess of these gases in our atmosphere. Let's now discuss all greenhouse gases and where they come from. Water vapor is produced in the natural water cycle and stored in clouds, as well as from man-made sources such as aeroplanes.